You might know the Sloer by Walrus Audio for its huge atmospheric reverb. In fact, that's what made it stand out to me when I tried it last year at the UK Guitar Expo. But what if there's more to it than that? What if I told you that by being a little bit unconventional, we could use this as a PlayStation 1 style synth pad? Or a Swell pedal? Or even a cinematic orchestra? Well, let's start with that dark, warbly tape pad that sounds like it's come straight from an old school horror game.
I should find where that sound's coming from.
And all of that was just my guitar into this pedal. Here's the clean sound. The key to this is I'm turning the mix knob all the way up so we're only hearing the reverb. I'm basically using my guitar as a controller and the Sloer as an instrument. Now there's two things that really bring this sound to life. First is the stretch slider, which controls the sample rate, and I've slid that all the way down, which gives it this dark, grainy lo-fi sound. It's also in light mode, which adds an octave up effect to the reverb, and I can set the amount using the X slider. But the main thing is the depth knob, and that adds a modulation or movement to the reverb tail, so I'm going to turn that up quite high to get that warping tape sound. And I can change how fast or slow that modulation happens by pressing and holding the bypass and sweeping through the depth knob. And from here I can use different picking techniques or my guitar controls to get some different textures. Now we've got our orchestra, which has a really rich psychedelic vibe to it. So far I've found how to do a cello, strings, and a choir. Like before, the mix is at max, so we're using the Sloer as our instrument. For cello, I'm using the dark mode, and now the X slider adds an octave down effect. And I'm going to max both the X and stretch sliders. Maxing the stretch makes the effect more immediate, so there's less of a delay between playing and hearing our sound. And the real trick to this is palm muting, which creates that staccato bowed sound. Adding some decay as well helps introduce some resonance and body to the sound, makes it sound a bit more natural. But remember, this isn't about getting an exact sound, we're just seeing how much we can get out of this by pushing this pedal a bit harder. To get strings, all we're doing is dropping the X and stretch sliders to about halfway. Then I'm dropping the volume and tone on my guitar and playing in a slightly higher register. This is really good for chords. For choir, I'm swapping to light mode, dropping the stretch and filter knob, and using my fingers to play for a softer attack. I've also set it to wide for a more open, churchy sound, and really making use of that stereo output. And there's a really cool thing that we can do here, which is using the stretch knob to move some chords and notes around. It's a little bit tricky to do, but it's a really cool sound and really satisfying when you can get it to work. Just takes a little bit of practice. Finally, we've got our swell effect, and this is more of a practical guitar effect. I'm changing to the rise setting at the bottom, and that gives us that swelling, blooming sound. The X slider now sets how long it takes for that swell to kick in. I want this to be really responsive, so I'm going to turn the X all the way down and the stretch all the way up. That means that it kicks in really quickly and I can get a better handle on playing it. And this one's a lot less dependent on the other settings, so we can just dial it in to taste. And putting it into a distorted amp gives it a real shoegazy vibe. Swell's definitely become one of my favorite guitar effects because it's a bit like playing a pad, but it's more instant and you have a bit more control over it. It sounds a bit more like a normal guitar as well. So even though the Sloer is designed for that atmospheric ambient reverb, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot more that this little pedal can do. If you want to check it out, I've linked where you can find one in the description below. It's been really fun just sitting down and seeing how many sounds I can get. If you like this video, check out my channel. I have a bunch of other stuff on there as well. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.